I used to kind of get bored or hate it when people are like, "Oh, we can explain the pain." When I will ask people, "How is the pain?" We can't really put words to it. I'm like, but I'm here to tell you that I also cannot explain the pain. The pain. I beg, forget it. People will be like, "Oh, you must think about this as it is what it is." But the nice thing, I wouldn't say nice, you get equal power, and that is the part that made me like. So it's like mixed feelings. Um, I remember there was a point where I had to walk to the toilet, and she was like, my midwife was like, "Okay, we need to know if you're feeling weak or something." The way I walked like a soldier, they were like, "Oh, she got some strength." Of course, the way this pain is doing me, I was pulling my. If I step like this. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel once again. So I promised myself that if I get to 100 subscribers and baby turns 3 months, either of the two, or the two of them happening at the same time, I would share my birth videos and some photos from my birth. But before I do that, I want to share my birth story. So yes, congratulations to moi, 100 subscribers and 3 months postpartum. Anyway, I think if you have a child, you should tell your birth story or write it down because you keep forgetting bits and bits of it. It's amazing how we forget because that what you go through is just something else. Okay, let's go straight to the point. So thanks to my doula and midwife, they gave me some notes, and I remember majority of the part, the painful part. So I think I started to really feel active labor, not active pre-labor around 1 a.m. I think at 12:30, 1 a.m. I think I started to feel like contractions. But this has been happening so much that I'm like, maybe it's not the deal. But at the same time, I wanted to harness it. So I went into the room, switched off the light, and I'm like, just stay. Because you know, when it's dark, something about um, melatonin, whatever, something about it being dark and telling your body to, it produces all these hormones. So I went into the room, I took out my essential oils, my jasmine, my sage, and I'm like, it has to happen today. Then Isabel on that particular day was like, I'm having issues sleeping. Something about her doing that told me that maybe it's today because she was really fuzzy. And it was a stormy night. The next day, there was a prediction that there was going to be a storm. So I'm like, it's definitely today or tomorrow. And I like the dates. Well, every day is a day that God has made, but I like the dates. It was going to be either 18, 9, 18, 9, 19. Oh, here they write the dates month first. So it was either going to be 9, 18, 19 or 9, 19, 19. So I was like, the dates looked cute, baby come, baby come. Anyway, I went into the room. So while I was there, Chris came in. I'm like, switch off the lights, switch off the lights. Don't switch on the lights. I need this baby to come. Don't switch on the lights. And he's like, well, you told me to record, so I'm here to do my job. I'm like, just hold it off. I tried to sleep, it was not happening. Man, I'm like, this thing is about to come. Then I decided to make the soap, and I think I did some other stuff. Then around 3 a.m. I started to actually track because I didn't want to bother myself. We were just moving around, putting supposed to be sleep and all that. Then around 3 a.m. that was when I was like, this thing is happening. I checked my contractions. Chris was checking them for me. I was also looking, and I'm like, things are getting close together. So my thing was, what I've learned so far, that it should be, the rule is 5-1-1. So is it 5 minutes apart, lasting 1 minute? I've forgotten. Mom brain. Anyway, I will let you know if I remember in the comments. So 5-1 rule, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty close together. And then it's like things are slowing down a bit. I'm like, no, but I was feeling pain. You know, when the contractions hit, I'm like, it can't be real because this is supposed to be early labor, and I feel like I need to push. So what is going on? Will I be able to do this? At that point, I was doubting, like, should we just cancel this whole thing of no meds? Because I was going crazy. And me on a normal day, I'm crazy. So you can imagine how I was making my husband feel. Anyway, I tell him to call my photographer. No, I texted my photographer and she told me that, oh, she won't come until I'm in the pool or something. I'm in the water. I'm like, whatever. I thought I was going to get some cute pictures prior that. But I guess it's all of her not being there, and then labor is so long, and time and everything. So and then I call my doula and she's like, well, do you want me to come or you want me to meet you at the birth center? I'm like, I want you to come or meet me at the birth center. Like, I just want you. So she's like, well, I'm at your service. Just let me know if you want me to come or you want me to meet you at the birth center. For me to conclude that, we had to call the midwife. We call the midwife. We tell her the average of the contraction timer, and she's like, girl, you need to wait a bit. I don't think I need them to be, I think she said 1 minute apart. What was she saying? I forgot, but she was like, girl, he's still really early. My husband hands the phone and then he comes to me and tells me, well, they say you need to wait. He tries to touch me and help me with those pain techniques that we learned. I'm like, oh, don't touch me. Don't touch me. I don't need your touch right now. And I knew it. Something told me that all this pain stuff, I wouldn't get it, because the kind of person I am, I need to feel stuff from in out. I don't know how to explain it. Like, if it's not okay inside, whatever you do, you telling me affirmation or whatever, chill, like get out, go sit somewhere, drink water. I'm in pain. So my husband gets the cue. I mean, he's known me for 11 years. We've been married for few, but we've known each other for really long. So he's like, yeah, I need to step out. Judah, mommy's just making a video. Am I too dramatic for you? So, oh, I need to carry him. I'll get him. So this is my chunky monkey. He's a giant. Anyway, so I tried to sit on the ball, try some pain techniques, and man, the pain was just too much. So I told Grace to call the midwife and tell her that we are coming in. We are not asking her, we are coming in. So luckily for us, we called her and she said, okay, we can come. We called the doula to meet us. Do you need help? Okay. Hey, mom life, you never do anything without interruption. Okay, so we call her and she said, okay, come in. We call our doula, we let our photographer know, and then we head to the birth center. The car ride. The car ride. I want him to be fast. At the same time, I want him to drive at 0. I don't know how I can explain that. That's just it. It was just, every time I hit a contraction, I'm like, why are you so fast? And then when there's no contraction, I'm like, hurry. So we go to the birth center, and my midwife tells me, you look like you are in active labor, but your app shows that it's early. Okay, so I'm like, you know what? I want you to check me. Remember, in my birth plan, I did not want to be checked, but the pain, I was like, I want to know what's happening, because I just went into labor and it looks like it should be time for me to bring this baby here. So she's like, okay, if you want to be checked, I will check you. And then she checks and I'm still at a 4. 4 is what I've been before I went into labor. I'm like, there's something wrong. So they're like, oh, let's try pain techniques. And then they ask my husband to use that he uses the Rebozo, Rebozo, to push my tummy up, to help me and all that. No. I wasn't taking anything. I was like, no. Well, he did it a few times, and I just told him stop. Then they asked. Then I saw the water. The pool was ready, and I was like, I want to go into the water. This is me who told my midwife that I don't think I would like the water, but right now I was looking to try anything. So they're like, well, if it's early labor, you want to wait a bit before you get into the water. I'm like, I want to get into the water. Just get me into the water, please. You have to wait a bit. And I want to get in the water. Not I beg make I enter the water. See ya again. So they get me into the water and I'm like, what? This is good. So yeah, the water actually helps. If you actually started contraction outside and you get into the water, you see the difference. It doesn't take the pain away, but it really suits you. So I'm in the water and things are just going. I'm just trying. I'm mourning. I think the pain technique that I used was screaming. I thought that I wasn't gonna scream. Oh my lord, I screamed. And then I kept on saying, she actually wrote it in the notes. She said that she put in quotes, I didn't think it would be this hard. I just started. Because that's what I was saying, like, if this is how painful it is now, then how is it gonna be later on? You know? So I'm just there and then I feel like my body is pushing. There was just so much pain. I was like, something is not right. So I wanted to ask to be checked again, I think. I'm like, I feel like pushing, like something is just not right. They came to massage my back. I think it's cranium massage, which also helps with pain. That I liked. And then she also came to speak some words over me, Bible verses over me, just encouraging me. I think that also helped. I think it helped in the sense that it canceled the negative things that I was saying. So that's the pain techniques that I use. And she also gave me some herbal tincture, which I think also helped. So at that point, I was like, something is just not right. This pain. And then my body, I'm like, is this contractions? Remember, this is my first time feeling real contraction with Isabel. I took the epidural. So I'm like, this is just too much. So she said, okay, I'll check you if you want me to. And then that's when she's like, oh, you have to stop pushing because now let me see what she said, because I don't know the technical term. I have a cervical lip, like something is swollen. So I'm like, I'm not pushing. She's like, you have to. I'm like, I'm not pushing. So my body was actually pushing on its own. So she says, well, what we can do, if you like, you can just come up on the toilet and we will hold it up and then you push down. At that point, I said yes, because I felt like pushing. I felt like my baby wants to come. Remember, we just arrived at the birth center. So she's like, okay. And I think around that time, she told me I was at an 8. Yeah, that's how fast it went. So she pulls it up. I push. And I told them the baby is coming. Then they're like, get in the pool, get in the pool. I get in the pool and guess what? I pooped in the pool. Yes, TMI. I pooped in the pool. And they're like, oh, let's refresh that water. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. You want to change this water? I'm not gonna make it. So I head towards the bed, and within 8 minutes, when I got to the bed, 8 minutes, I pushed and my baby was out. I pushed for 8 minutes, and I think it was twice. I pushed twice. I pushed once and then I rested. I was like, they're like, take your time if you feel like pushing, push. And I just, pushing is my favorite part. Even with Isabel, pushing is my favorite part. So I felt like I was on fire. They said you will have a fire, you feel a ring of fire. I didn't feel a ring of fire. I felt a body of fire. My whole body was on fire. I felt the sweat. And each time they wanted to cool me down, I didn't want it. It's like I enjoyed that fire. So that was that. That's why he's here. I did it. Yes. So I got to the birth center at 4 a.m. 4:05 a.m. and I got into the pool at 4:10 a.m. and baby came at 7:15 a.m. By 10:10 I was out of the birth center. So same day, everything. People, after I had my baby, I thought I was done. The afterbirth pain, I'll talk about that another time. And walking to my car, I felt like I've just been hit by a train. But the recovery was really fast.